Hello everyone, now we are going to start with the first chapter of standard 9, that is number system. We all have learned different sets of numbers so far, like natural numbers, in which the number starts from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and it goes on continues. All those numbers are called as natural numbers. Then we have learned whole numbers in which 0 is included, which is not included in natural numbers. So the numbers starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the positive numbers are called as whole numbers. Then we have learned integers. So integers are basically all the positive numbers, negative numbers including 0. So negative numbers are not included in whole numbers, but 0 is included. So integers is much bigger set than whole numbers and natural numbers. Then after integers we have one more set which is bigger than integer, that is rational number. And the rational numbers are the numbers which can be written in the form of p upon q, where p and q are integers and q is not equals to 0. Those numbers are called as rational numbers. Now there is one more set of number, that is irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. So basically irrational numbers are the numbers which cannot be represented in the form of p upon q. Numbers which cannot be expressed as p upon q are called as irrational numbers. Examples are root 2, root 3, then pi. So these are the examples of irrational numbers. All the root numbers are not irrational because we can express root 4 as 2, which is basically integer or rational numbers. Now if we combine these all number together, we will get a new number system, that is set of real numbers. So the real numbers are the numbers in which natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers and irrational numbers are also included. We all have learned to represent natural numbers, whole numbers, integers and rational numbers on number line. So now we are going to learn how to represent irrational numbers on number line. Represent root 2 on number line. We don't know how to represent root 2 on number line as of now. But in order to represent this root 2 on number line, we will be making use of one of the important theorem that we have learned long back, that is Pythagoras theorem. We all know that in Pythagoras theorem we have a right angle triangle, say suppose A, B and C, and Pythagoras theorem states that hypotenuse square is equals to side square, side 1 square plus side 2 square. So say suppose AC is our hypotenuse, so AC square will be equals to CB square plus BA square. Now if we have this AB as 1 centimeter and CB as 1 centimeter, we can find AC, that is by using Pythagoras theorem, AC square is equals to CB square, I'll substitute 1 square plus BA square, that is 1 square again, and 1 square is 1, 1 square is 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2, so AC square is equals to 2. So my AC will be root 2. So this hypotenuse, measure of this hypotenuse will be root 2. So now by making the use of this concept only, we are going to represent root 2 on number line. So basically we are going to represent this hypotenuse on number line and we are going to mark it on the number line. So for that, first I will draw one number line. So this is my number line. I'll mark this point as 0 and from here I'll mark my all other points, positive points, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Now we all know that our base is 1 centimeter. So if suppose I consider this point as my C and point this as B, it will be of 1 centimeter. Now I have to take the height of 1 centimeter as well. So I'm going to use compass. I'll measure this length, that is 1 centimeter. I'll keep my pointer on 1 and I'll mark one arc on top over here like this. As you can see, I have marked one point over here. So now I will take this protractor, place it on the point 1, and I'll take 90-degree point over here and I'll draw a line passing through this arc so that this angle becomes a 90-degree. So this is my 90-degree. As you can see, I have a base of 1 centimeter, height up till here as 1 centimeter. I'll take this point as A. Now I want this to be root 2, right? So if I join this line over here, I will get root 2. So from 0 to 1, this height is root 2. Now I want to represent this root 2 on this number line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my compass over here on 0. I'll take this line up till here, till point A, and I'm going to mark it on my number line. So this point which I have drawn over here is my point root 2. Once you learn how to locate root 2 on number line, it is very easy to locate root 3 on number line. So first thing, in order to locate root 3 on number line, we will have to draw root 2 first. So as you can see here, I have already drawn root 2 on my number line. So this is my A, the B and C, and this height over here is root 2. I have already located root 2 on my number line. So now I'm going to show you how to locate root 3 on number line. And for that, in order to locate root 3, I will be drawing one perpendicular line to this line AB like this with the help of protractor. So I'll keep my protractor on point A and I'll mark 90-degree over here and I'll join this line. So this line is perpendicular to line BA or AB. Now I'm going to take a distance of 1 centimeter once again, this distance, and I'm going to keep my pointer on A and I'm going to cut one arc over here and I'll name this point as D. Now I'm going to join this D and B. As you can see, I have joined D and B. So now this distance over here is my root 3 distance. So I'll measure the distance. I'll keep my pointer over here at this point. And I'll take the distance till D. And from here I will locate it on my number line. So now this new arc is my root 3. In the same way, you can locate root n for any positive integer n after root of n minus 1 has been located. Let's try to understand the difference between rational numbers and irrational numbers by learning the concept real numbers and their decimal expansion. I have taken some examples of rational numbers over here and I have divided them accordingly. So let's try to understand the difference. When I divide 7 by 8, I get quotient as 0.875. So at each step I am getting reminders. For example, over here, after dividing this number, I am getting remainder as 6. Then we are gonna divide 6 by 8, that's why we take 0 and then we proceed. So then next time I get a remainder as 4 and finally I get remainder as 0. Okay. So here my quotient is 0.875. In this example, my reminders are 1, 1, 1 and 1, because whenever we divide 10 by 3, we are getting remainder as 1. So then if we perform this division one more time by taking 0, that is decimal expansion, we are getting remainder as 1, 1 and 1. So every time we are getting remainder as 1, 1 and 1, where my quotient becomes 3.333 and so on. So these steps will go on continuing. Now in this case 1 upon 7, when we divide 7 by 1, I am getting remainder as 3, then 2, then 6, then 4, then 5, then 1. So if we proceed further, after this 1, we will take 1 0 over here, and when we divide this 10 by 7 again, so we are going to get the same amount of remainders again and again, and our decimal expansion of this number will be, that is our quotient, will be 0.142857 ... So after this 7, this number 1, 4, 2, 8 and these many blocks of digits are going to repeat. Now let's focus on this example first. So in this case you can see that we are getting remainder as 0. So in such type of examples where we are getting the remainder as 0, such examples are called as terminating. And whenever the decimal expansions of the rational number, we are getting remainders as 1, 1, 1 and goes on continuing, means that if we find repeating blocks of digits in the quotient, like in this case we have 3.3333, over here 0.142857, then again 142857, such examples are called as non-terminating recurring. So whenever we have rational numbers, so there are only two possibilities. The decimal expansion will either terminate or recur, that is non-terminating. In terminating cases, we can write our quotient like this, but the usual way of writing the quotient of non-terminating cases is like this. We can write this quotient as 3.3 bar. So this bar denotes that 3 is repeated over and over again. Over here in this case we can write this quotient as 0.142857 bar from 1 to 7, because this bar from 1 to 7 tells us that so these many blocks of digits are going to be repeat again. But when we talk about the irrational number like root 2, root 3, pi, that is the value of root 2 is 1.41421356. As you can see here, there is no repeating units over here. In root 3, 1.73205080. Here also you cannot find any repeating numbers. That means we cannot find the sequence. And in case of pi, 3.14159265. So this value goes on changing. So this is the basic difference between rational numbers and irrational numbers.